What I'm actually really excited for is the special surprise you prepared for the end of this podcast.
Everyone will want to leave because they'll say we're dicks. I'm not cuddly because I have a rough and bumpy face.
We're just a couple of business anchors. Welcome to the Business Anchors podcast. This jingle is slightly too long. This jingle is slightly too long.
Welcome to episode 26 of the Business Anchors podcast. It's the final episode of our first year, and it's the first episode where I've improvised the intro. Nobody knows what's going to come out of my mouth next, not even me, but I've done it in one. Let's get into it.
That's good.
Oh, that's better than when I normally prepare it.
What I'm actually really excited for is the special surprise you prepared for the end of this podcast.
The special surprise?
Yeah.
Oh, you just setting me up because I haven't got one. Or you're trying to trick the listeners. Oh, I better listen to the whole episode.
I'm looking forward to that. That'll be good.
What? I'm still trying to work out if I genuinely have forgotten something or if you're tricking me.
So this is the final episode of 2020, isn't it?
Yeah, 26 episodes. Interestingly,
Well,
one every 2 weeks. That works out as?
is it? But
exactly.
It's annoying because for a segment of doing this podcast, we did one episode in two parts, which is annoying because I think it kind of mucks it up a bit. We've
we've
done like 38, I think, or something.
Right.
Actual
but some of them,
episodes, but some of them. Do you know what I mean?
went through a phase of calling it
Part one,
episode 13, part 1, episode 13,
I
part
thought
2.
that was rubbish if you think about it.
Yeah, I got given some bad advice from a podcast expert, actually. If you're listening, I don't really think it was rubbish. It was just a test, test that didn't work, really.
What was good is the posting every week, the podcast. It keeps you up in the charts better. Like if you don't post, because we were doing posting every 2 weeks, both parts at once, whereas we spread it out.
Viewers of the podcast, I feel I should probably acknowledge two things. One, the more obvious thing, I haven't got a hat on.
Oh yeah, you've actually had a half decent haircut.
I don't know if there's any episode of the Business Anchors podcast where I'm not wearing a hat. Or our biggest fans can let me know. Go through all of the videos previously. Watch them all entirely. Yeah. And the second thing, which is less obvious.
Creepy gloves.
Less obvious. I'm in, I was going to say I'm in a Santa costume. I just took the gloves and the top from the Santa costume. So I just look like a bit of a creep.
Yeah. More creepy.
Listeners, I've got kind of white tight gloves on. Just, a bit weird. But yeah. So we today are going to be talking. Well, we're going to be talking about 2020. We're going to be asking each other some questions, which hopefully we're going to get some deep and meaningful answers, and reflecting on this year, and hopefully also some funny answers. You know, where I ask Dan a question, he's stupid, and then we just take the mick out of him for a bit. So.
Or Lloyd can't speak in the podcast, and he just says, yeah, like he did for probably 3-4 episodes.
Who knows? But. We've prepared some questions for each other, and we're going to be reflecting on the past year of the podcast, past year of our business, past year of our lives, really, aren't we?
And also, we're going to be looking into how Lloyd genuinely upset a Business Anchors viewer and listener, and what unravelled after that. He didn't know what I'm going to be talking about, but
really?
I'm looking forward. Yeah. You don't know this.
Someone I've upset?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Lloyd's really worried now.
Sounds good.
I can't wait for that bit.
Okay.
So I want to start off asking you a question.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Unless...
That'd be good, because then we'll be starting with a good answer.
Cause exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So firstly, 2020's been a bit of a roller coaster.
Why is that?
Just went down dreamland and went on a roller coaster. No, but what's one of the sort of biggest things you've learnt from 2020? Because it's been a mental year. Have you learnt? You must have learnt stuff.
Yeah, and I think I have a good answer for this. So you're welcome, listeners. Biggest thing I've learnt in 2020 is being in the present. So I'll explain what I mean. So this was from a podcast oh God, I can't remember the name of it. It's a guy that used to present sports on BBC. It's called the High Performance Podcast.
Jake
Humphreys. Yeah, that's it. And he had Johnny Wilkinson, Rugby World Cup winner, then.
I know he is.
Okay.
He did the kicky bally thing.
Yeah, he did. He did. And he did it well. And I listened to that about 6 months ago or something. Don't really know, probably. And he spoke about kind of after you've won the World Cup and stuff, you've hit this massive peak. Like, how are you kind of just happy with just going to the park? How are you and that kind of thing. And he spoke about it, and he communicates it much better, so go and listen to him after this podcast. But just says about if you're constantly looking like to the next thing and constantly thinking, oh, when my business gets big enough, when I get to do this really good thing, when I'm better at this, you're never actually enjoying any time, because even when you get there, you're thinking, oh, well, now I need to do that other thing. And being in the present, and so we've got all this stuff going on with the business and family and all that stuff, but I've found part of this for me as well has just been putting my phone away and being like, right, I'm colouring in with my son.
That sounds well fun.
Rather than colouring in and in my head be thinking, yeah, we could really do with winning a couple more deals for the business in March 2021. A bit of a trough there, and I'm worrying about capacity of the business in this time. And what should I cook for dinner? Actually, just enjoying that moment. Going, I'm colouring in with Leo. This is really nice. And I've been doing that a lot more this year than I ever have.
Colouring in.
I have actually, genuinely have. But yeah, living in the present, I think, is something that I've got better at and I've found a lot of happiness in, and I want to continue in my life. So that's actually, it's a bit of a random one, but
I like that.
That's been a big lesson I've learned.
I remember hearing about Tyson Fury when he won the world heavyweight title. He had a similar thing of he got it, like achieved the best thing you could possibly achieve in boxing.
His whole life, this dream.
And then he got well depressed and massive, and but I also kind of disagree, because I think it's good to have. Well, actually, no. Being present, you still have those goals and stuff to head towards, don't you?
You're still trying to achieve all these things, but you're just not constantly in the future.
Yeah.
You go, for an hour, you could be going, right, I'm going to sit down and think about what I'm going to do this week to make sure I do get. But then when you're just, when you're driving, to your mate's house. Actually just enjoy listening to the music and driving there, looking out the window, and not be stressing yourself out about a million things. And
did you manage to keep it in the lines?
What?
The colouring.
Oh, no, I'm actually not a very good colouring. No, Leo's told me I'm not that good. I'm not as good as Mummy, apparently. Hear that quite a lot about various things.
Do you actually?
Yeah. I'm not cuddly because I have a rough and bumpy face. Whereas my wife doesn't. That's,
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm pretty
He does always tend to like run towards Sarah and cuddle her and stuff.
Yeah.
And then you're just sort of left on the sideline.
Yeah. Yeah, that is.
I have noticed that, Lloyd.
Yeah, it's consistent. But she is lovely. And I'm a twat.
I agree with that.
Right. Okay. What would you give my answer out of 10 there, Dan?
That was a good one. 7.5.
Thank you very much. Now, your first question.
Yeah.
What do you feel proud of in 2020?
Ooh, proud of. I think I'm proud of our business surviving. I know I'm talking about business, but I think because that's such an integral part of our whole life, if this isn't going well, we don't have the income to support our families and all that kind of stuff, and our team as well. And I think I'm happy that, well, we haven't just survived, we've thrived. And it's taken a lot of work, and I'm proud that we didn't just sort of roll over and furlough everyone, and sort of, I think we sort of worked double as hard. And
because interestingly, because of how our business is set up and stuff, we could have, other than one of our employees who was employed at a really awkward time and date behind the camera that couldn't be furloughed originally, because of how our business set, we could have even furloughed ourselves.
Yeah.
And so we could have just gone, oh, well, we're going to get our wages covered and stuff. Should we just have a year off?
Yeah.
And we come back to whatever position. But yeah, so I think we should be proud of the fact we actually went, no, let's actually work really hard. And
I'm really excited for a piece of content we've got coming out about our 2020. We've made like this story piece where it talks through the highs and lows of what we did through this period and stuff, and that kind of explains it. But
nice.
Keep an eye out for that.
In line with you saying about the business surviving, I do just want to say, because I think the last couple of months we've been a bit quiet, like we were crazy and like each month was like best month we've ever had. Oh my god, best month. And it's like, and then the last like 2 months it's gone back down again a bit. Surprisingly, it's not just constantly
going
10 times better than so I think certainly with you, Dan, you've been I think putting quite a lot of pressure on yourself and struggling a bit more with like, oh, we're not just on the rise constantly. And I just wanted to point out, so we've got our 2030 plan we've spoken about on the podcast, and we've spoken about everywhere because we always speak about this long-term plan. And really that's like our dream of like, let's build this business to a point where
it's a practical plan.
Yeah, but it's our
plan.
Okay, yeah. That wasn't what I didn't mean.
It's a dream.
I didn't mean a dream as in it's not going to be achieved. I meant as in for me that would be an absolute dream. Okay, saying it like that, have the business in a position we want to, so we can grow it, be doing really exciting things financially with our families. We can be comfortable and do nice things. Ferrari's not in my plan, but this year. I think you might be surprised because you're not so much in the financial side of things. We have achieved exactly 33% more than what our targets were.
That's good, isn't it?
Over the year, I think that
is good.
Yeah. So I think you should be very proud of that.
Yeah, I think you do kind of. I can get complacent sometimes when we're in that period of like every week I was just getting a new massive deal in, and it was like easy.
But you've like, gone through exactly what we're saying with like not exactly what we're saying with Tyson Fury and Johnny Robinson, but we had a period in like Q2 and 3 of this year where it was just like you get in, phone rings. Hi, can I give you 50 grand? Yeah, all right. Put that down. Get an email. Can I give you 20 grand? Yeah, all right. Not as simple as that, but it did feel a bit like that. Like Dan being the sales side, we were winning exciting business deals. Quite consistently. And because it has got a bit quieter the last couple of months, it's not as exciting. Is it?
But it makes you think, and it makes you sit back and think, what can we do to improve that?
Yeah.
And we are doing those things, so I'm excited.
Yeah, cool.
Question for you, Lloyd.
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah.
Firstly, what was your highlight?
Okay. Oh, sure.
This sounds really stupid. I know this isn't actually a thing. What would you say the opposite of highlight is?
Low light.
Is lowlights? Lowlights. It sounds like when you say a word that you've never said before, really, very often, and it sounds like not a real word.
I don't know if it is. It's just what I'd say.
Low light.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go on. Sorry. What's your highlight?
Highlight. Oh no. I know what the next question is. I find it very hard. It sounds negative, but I don't have a highlight of like one thing where I was like, "Oh, that was so good." But
are you joking? I can think of things that we've done together that I'd class as your highlight.
Well, you can say one moment that's my highlight of the whole year.
Well, a moment or a period in time.
Okay, go on.
No, sorry, go on. You carry on.
No, so my point is, I had a low period in the year where I wasn't feeling myself.
A low light.
But actually, the majority of this year has been a highlight for me. Like, there's not a specific day, but I've just been very happy and fortunate, and I've had a really nice year with family and friends and work. Less friends because can't see them much, but and no one really likes me. But yeah, I find it hard to like point out one thing. Right, tell me what my highlight is.
San Diego.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I really liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was like just.
I thought that was
I think USA announced their first COVID case while we were there.
Yeah, that was
so
wicked.
We didn't. No, but we at that point it wasn't a worry. It was just like,
No.
oh, that's a bit weird, isn't it?
The funniest thing, we were at this event called Social Media Marketing World, and there's this is just when COVID was breaking out, and every year for the last however years there's been a guy there called the high five guy.
Yeah.
And he stands at the top of the stairs and like high fives everyone, and we were sort of joking about
Yeah.
how people are sort of going to be dodging him.
Yeah.
I can't remember what he ended up doing. Was he sort of elbowing people? Or?
He was just waving, I think.
The wave guy.
Hey. For the listeners, I was waving.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely a highlight. We had a really good time in San Diego, didn't we?
I think what makes it so fond in my memories because that was the last thing when the world seemed normal-ish and you could do cool stuff.
Yeah.
And then it was like, pew, downhill from there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's good though.
Your low light. You didn't say
Low light. I've spoken about it so much on the podcast, they'll be bored, so I won't speak about it much. But when I had time where I wasn't feeling happy and didn't know why, that was rubbish.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Then
We've done a whole podcast episode on it, like 2 actually.
Yeah. Go and listen.
Stop going on about it,
and listen
Lloyd.
to those.
God,
But yeah,
milking
sorry.
it, isn't he?
Yeah, just trying to get a bit of attention. So, do you have any regrets this year, Dan? In 2020?
I really don't.
hashtag no regrets.
No, not like that. But I used to think, like when we've spoken about this before, when I was at uni, like I wish I took advantage of like the networking and building something and all that. And then after reflecting on stuff, I think I try and live my life not regretting stuff or trying to live it in a way where I wouldn't regret what I've done. Do you know what I mean? That sounds like a weird way of putting it.
Yeah.
So not really. Sorry, it's a boring answer.
No, that's good.
What about you? Got any regrets?
I would say over the year, not focusing more on my health and fitness and eating well and exercising more and stuff. Regret that.
Cool.
Yeah. Hashtag no regrets, except that.
I would bet you, I don't know if you remember all of them, but what do you think was your favourite Business Anchors podcast episode and why? From the whole... could you remember most of them? I think the ones we did like... when did we start this? February this year?
It started January.
We've done quite a few.
I think we did one episode before San Diego, or maybe two. We went to San Diego February.
Weren't we going to do one out there and we just never did?
Yeah.
We just got pissed every night.
Yeah. No, we did not.
Networking.
We're working very hard. Tell the tax man we were working. What? Did you just ask me something?
You twat.
What did you ask
What was your favourite Business Anchors podcast episode?
Episode 1.
Was it really?
Yeah, not because it's necessarily the best episode, but because I think it was the way I remember it. It's exciting to me because it was like we actually were doing it, and I was excited about doing the podcast, and we were really laughing a lot. And I don't know, I've just got fond memories because that was the start.
I think I was more nervous then, and I didn't feel it was much myself.
Yeah, I suppose there would
I
have been.
Now I just don't care. You can just talk as you.
Well, I mean, we do care, listeners, about giving you a great listening experience in your ear holes.
I remember feeling a bit sort of like, ooh, how should I act? Did you not feel like that? Or were you just excited?
I just know I'm a brilliant person, so I know I can just be myself.
When you know you're perfect, yeah.
Exactly.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so I would say that one. Do you have a favourite?
I probably have a favourite just because all of the conversation that happened after it, the one where you basically said all accountants are shit.
Oh yeah.
And
well, no, I didn't say that. I said, are all accountants?
Rhetorical question.
Yeah.
But just the backlash of that, and obviously all the people you're upset that we're going to talk about in a little bit.
Oh god. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So, yours is episode 1 about, was it networking?
Yeah.
Taking the piss out of networking. I think it's funny. I feel like the first half of the podcast, at least, had more stories in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You kind of, after a while of talking quite a lot, you tell quite a lot of stories, like things that happen, and we got all of the really juicy ones out then, and then now it's more things that happen on a weekly basis, like stories that happen, whereas rather than like, oh, remember when we were 7 and you did weird stuff?
Yeah, I didn't.
Remember when you were about 15 and you had dolphin wallpaper?
I didn't have dolphin wallpaper.
Oh,
it was a border. I had it
border.
painted blue and yellow split by a dolphin border because I wanted my bedroom decorated like a beach. All right. So that's what every 8-year-old boy wants.
You had your poster of Rachel Stevens. Did I make that up? No, J-Lo.
Rachel Stevens was there for our J-Lo. I was a bit obsessed with J-Lo, weirdly. Yeah, lots of Jennifer Lopez on my bedroom walls.
Don't know why.
Yeah, we're just mates, really. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go on.
You keep asking me things like, "Oh, what have I learned?" and stuff. What have you learned in 2020? Anything?
I've learned a lot, actually. Just got to think of what it is. No. One of the main things I've learned is I think I've learned that, like, most things. I know I already knew this, but it's reinforced that most things don't matter. I don't know. You know, like before COVID times, and you're doing all this stuff, holidays, and like thinking of this, thinking of that, going away, and then when you literally have to stay in your house 24/7, pretty much, there's not a lot outside that matters.
Yeah.
That's weird because you'd probably say, "Oh, everything matters. The world, save the world and stuff." I've sort of felt more like all that other stuff was worrying about.
I agree.
Doesn't matter.
You realise you think you've put a lot of importance on a lot of things that even if they're not there.
Yeah.
Now this year you've kind of realised, oh, I don't need all that stuff, and I'm still happy and still me.
And I think it's also made me feel the people closest to me are even more important. So it's like the opposite effect of like.
Yeah, I am.
Not you.
Okay.
No, you as well. But yeah, because you spend more time with them, and so
nice.
that's it.
Nice. Oh,
this is where I ask you a question, isn't it?
Yes. Normally.
You just asked me what's 2020 taught. What did you ask me?
I said, what have you learned in 2020?
Oh yeah, what have you learned?
Well, that was the first question you asked. Do you want me to?
No.
I mean, it was about being in the present.
Oh, yeah.
But if you want to ask me the same question worded differently, which could be rather than what's the biggest lesson you learned, what's 2020 taught you?
Yeah, I didn't want to.
I did think it was strange when you sent me these questions that they were basically the same, just worded differently.
So worded slightly differently.
Yeah. What's 2020 taught me? Well, I learned to be in the present, but 2020 has taught me to...
The present is important.
To be more empathetic.
Okay.
I think there's a lot... The world's quite divided, and a lot of people are blaming each other for different things and very negative towards each other. And I think like you see people refusing to wear masks and being like, you can't take away my rights. And a lot of people would just say that person is a bleep. Oh, that's good timing. But I think the way I'm thinking more now, like everyone's struggling with different things that you don't know about.
Yeah, exactly.
And that person that's refusing to wear a mask because you're taking away their freedom, they're so worried about you taking that away from them. There's clearly things they're struggling with that makes that hugely important to them.
Yeah.
And that they feel they need to keep that control.
Yeah. They're not just...
And you don't know what that is, and they might not know what that is, but that's... Obviously, this is just an example of someone... Yeah. But I think realising, it's a bit like the thing with like road rage. It's like you don't... If someone drives out in front of you, they're not just the worst person in the world and selfish, and they might have just come from the hospital where someone's... And that's on their mind, and they've just pulled out and...
I've seen really, I don't know what they're called, but have you seen the videos that represent exactly what you've just said, where there's like different scenes where people are acting in certain ways, but then it reverses and you see
like acted out and you actually see why,
and you see like you thought, oh, what an idiot, he just knocked something out of that bloke's hand. oh, he's done that because something terrible has just happened to him, and and you kind of
And I think we've all got to be open as well that we have been that guy that pulls out in front of someone in the past, and we don't even know that we've done it because our mind was somewhere and they nearly crashed into us. We didn't even realise, but we think it's always someone else. Like at some point you've been in a really tough situation, your mind's been elsewhere, and you've done that. So to be open to the fact you're not perfect, I'm not perfect.
So how do you apply that advice? Let's just say we're on a road and I've just pulled out in front of you. How do you at that split second think, I'm not going to get angry, I'm going to be empathetic? Is that what's your practical advice for actually applying what you've just said?
Well, I think with anything in the world
Give
that's
me 3
happened.
steps.
Okay, first thing is to acknowledge that no one in the world, or a tiny, tiny percentage of people in the world, are doing what they're doing to be nasty to other people.
Yeah.
So that person hasn't pulled out in front of you because he just thinks, oh, that guy looks like he's an idiot, I'm just going to do that to annoy him.
Yeah.
So I think that's Lloyd's first step of not getting in a road rage incident.
Yep. Step number 2.
And I think the second thing is just constantly thinking, I don't know what's going on in that person's life. And the third thing is putting yourself in their shoes and thinking, what does this situation look like from their point of view? And that's Lloyd's 3 steps to world peace and happiness.
Thank you.
That's okay.
Great advice.
That's okay.
Good advice.
So, how do you think you've changed this year, Dan? Have you changed, or are you the same person you were in
I definitely
December
think I've changed.
2019?
I think it isn't just because I'm guessing you're thinking, oh, how have you changed because of the world being in a pandemic? I don't think I've changed because of that. I think the thing that's changed about me the most this year is I think I've swallowed my ego a bit and realised that the business isn't all about me, which it kind of was. No, it wasn't. But I mean, I was like, oh,
it
me.
was, yeah.
And because we're growing a team, and you've taken on board the CEO role, and you're doing a lot more managing the team and thinking of the finances and that kind of thing. I think I've sort of realised I'm just one part of a machine where all the parts need to be
a very important part.
A very important part, just like everyone here.
Very good looking part as well.
Thank you very much. Keep them coming.
Yeah. Slightly intelligent part.
So I think I've realised that looking at all the stuff you as well take on now and thinking, wow, I would hate to be doing that job, it kind of made me realise I'm just one piece of the puzzle. But I think realising that is going to help us improve more, because I know my responsibilities and I'm all in focusing on that. And this has been a proactive part of our plan to improve the business, is having defined roles, and rather than we're all just doing random stuff.
Yeah, because quite a big change for you, because you started and then I joined very quickly, but we worked really hard to build your personal brand, just the two of us, over a period of years, and it was all about you. And now we're building the team, and so it's quite different, isn't it?
It is different. I think I prefer it though, to be honest.
I was going to say,
I would.
Is it less pressure being a cog in the massive machine than being just the machine?
Yeah. I know, genuinely I do. I think it's better because I know what I'm focusing on, driving business for our business, and I can go all in on that rather than trying to do other things that I'm not as skilled at. Yeah. And it's good.
Nice.
And some of our best performing content is with other people involved. Well, most of our top performing content is, rather than just me being on camera. So final question for you, what's the biggest positive you've got from COVID times? So most people think it's been a very negative time. I've really loved it because
I think as terrible as it's been for a lot of people, and I understand that, a real positive I've taken from this year is spending time outside.
Which means literally like outside in nature?
Yeah. I know you can always spend time outside. Yeah. But when you're more restricted, like you can't go to the pub with your mates. Oh no, you can't go to the cinema. You can't, like, actually just going for walks or being in my garden doing stuff. I've really realised that I love it. So being outside and it just simply doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
And another thing is, I suppose it's reassuring. I think you said something similar about the people close to you, realizing that I'm really happy just spending time with the people close to me, and that's enough. That's all I need, really. Obviously, there's loads of other stuff you want to do. You know, you want to go off on holiday and do this and do this different stuff, but actually, all I need is the people close to me, and I can be happy.
Yeah, I think we are very lucky to have people close to us that are good people and that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Can I ask you a question
Go on.
now, please?
Go on.
Thank you.
Yes.
What do you want to achieve in 2021? Do you have any big goals or anything?
I want to a few things. I want us to be in line with our 2030 plan. So that's one thing. I want to be in the best shape I've ever been with the gym, my strength and stuff. I want to be continue to do everything I need to keep Christelle and Brody happy. And they're all my, I'm very selfish and they're all my kind of internal goals.
That's not
I haven't got
selfish.
any goals to save the world or anything yet, but
big muscles, big business, big family.
yeah.
Yeah? Cool.
Triple big.
Triple B.
What about you?
Just continue to have big muscles, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my main thing.
Plant 1 billion trees?
No, the motivation for that's already gone. No, I think I'm just laughing at myself because inside my head Are you already doubting what you're about to say? Already lost motivation for planting the million trees. So I'm just thinking whatever I say now next week won't care about. No, I think I should focus on my health this year and get healthier.
Change that should to a will.
I will get healthier.
Cool.
This week.
Good. Cool.
Ho, ho, ho.
Well, that was good. That was some good questions.
I was going to ask you another one.
Oh, go on.
Has anything surprised you about this year that you weren't expecting? Because I just know at the beginning of this year I predicted a global pandemic.
Yeah, you were saying that last year, weren't you? Yeah, that surprised me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You need to be prepared, mate.
What's going to happen next year? Who knows?
Hopefully less weird stuff.
Do you know what I think I don't know what's helped me, but I know, people, worrying. I feel like...
Oh, yeah, I've heard of it, yeah.
I think worrying obviously doesn't achieve anything, does it? In my experience. No. And I think I've learnt to not worry as much. Like, what's the next COVID going to be?
Worrying is like, I said about being in the present.
Yeah.
If you're...
in the future,
if you're worrying, you're putting like things that might or might not happen in the future, you're focusing all your energy on. So all the things that might happen, all your energy is on that.
Yeah.
Like there could be another pandemic and the business will fail.
Yeah.
There could be a fire at the office and the business will fail.
Yeah.
Maybe everyone will want to leave because they'll say we're dicks and the business will fail.
Yeah. Lauren's nodding.
Yeah. But if you
she's not really.
If you just think of all the things that might happen and all your energy is on that, you're not putting any energy on what's actually happening.
Do you worry about the future much?
Yes, but I get better at. I'm getting much better at not. I think
I'm really good at not worrying about the future.
I used to,
which might not be a good thing.
This year's definitely helped me not worry about the future because I just think now we've survived this year. I'm happy I can survive anything.
Zombie apocalypse.
Yeah.
This, but with people trying to kill you.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. Cool.
I could. Yeah.
Nice.
I think we're pretty well equipped up in this office for
what were you looking at then?
Just I was thinking about where the zombies would come up. And I thought there's only one way up the stairs and there's a double doors to get there.
Yeah, but what if we needed to get food? Well, we would need to get food and stuff.
We can also see out of all.
We can't live off your out-of-date soup in the fridge that you leave in there for months.
One time. That was when... Didn't everyone come in? I said, guys, I think we need to sort out the fridge because there's no room for everyone's...
Yeah, I basically did a big food shop and there was some room. Like, get all the stuff out of the fridge.
No, I didn't say it. I said it much more professionally than that.
And
we need to review what we're putting in the fridge so there's room for everyone's food, guys. And then Lauren I think it was Lauren, kindly went over there to have a look. Whose soup is this that went off 3 months ago? Oh, that's mine. Whose is this that went off 2 months ago? Oh, yeah, that's mine too.
Oh, that was a good
I was a major part of the problem.
Yeah. Final thing, I just want to... Can I read out I'm going to keep this all anonymous.
Okay.
Just a comment about you, Lloyd, about how you really pissed this person off.
Okay.
So
have I seen it before?
Yeah, you must.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to read it out.
Okay.
It's not that long, but
okay.
This is after we did the podcast to do with Are All Accountants Rubbish. Previously, we did a podcast where Lloyd talked about getting his hair cut and they used his data to market to him, and he was moaning about that. He's moaning all the time. But anyway, this is quite a good comment. So, hey Lloyd, is this clickbait? How many have you spoken to? I don't recognise your description. The accountants I know have been working their arse off trying to support their clients with Rishi's ever-changing furlough grants. Something grants, blah, blah, blah. Most haven't charged for this. Seriously, mate, what is wrong with you? That's the best line. Seriously, mate, what is wrong with you? Last week you were slating some poor hairdresser who had missed a bit of hair, probably because it was tucked behind your mask. Instead of giving them a ring, you thought you'd leave a nice 2-star review on Google. Wow, not sure that's what Anthony Joshua has in mind when he asked you to support local business. You know the ones that have had to close for several months this year. I know they didn't make the best use of the track and trace data, but you know they're probably a bit desperate and worried that someone leaving a 2-star review might affect their small biz for the few weeks they are allowed to trade this year. Might be time to be kind. I think that's something you normally like to advocate. One thing I can agree on, Mark Telford is a good accountant. Maybe you should give him a ring.
Fine, I will. I actually did today, so... Yeah, that genuinely upset me, that comment.
Sorry, Lloyd, sorry.
No. I'm reading it now. I'm not like getting flashbacks, but when I got it... Sorry.
I remember that did upset you, sorry, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, wow, this person has really put a lot of effort into telling me how shit I am. Yeah.
I also like this, another comment. I will say who this is from because it's a funny comment, and Steve.
What was... Sorry, what was the quote? Really, mate? What was it?
Seriously, mate, what is wrong with you?
Seriously, mate, what's wrong with you? That's a good quote that we should use.
This is another good one. Steve Howard from Finally Agency, really cool guy.
I thought
really
they're going to be anonymous.
No, but this one.
Oh, this is a positive one.
This is a positive one.
Seriously, mate.
This is about the accountants. When we were slating accountants, he just tells a bit of a story that I found quite funny. He said, I had been running my small business for a few years and had the same accountant. I remember saying to my accountant, why did you not tell me about going limited earlier? And he said, to be honest, Steve, my heart's not really in it anymore. Fair play to him, for honesty.
That is very honest, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice.
I just thought that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Another guy got...
Are these all comments from clips from the podcast we've posted?
Yeah, on LinkedIn. But
yeah.
Nice. They're just some of my highlights. I thought I'd share those.
Nice. Very nice. I can't believe a year of the Business Anchors podcast already.
I know. I'm excited for next year. We are going to carry on doing this, aren't we? All through next year.
Yeah, I think so.
As long as we continue seeing value in it.
Yeah. Well, and more people are listening, actually. Do you remember I spoke a few episodes back and Dan was like, I love doing the podcast. And I was like, you do realise there's only 4 people listening?
No, there was not 4 people listening.
No, but our numbers had dipped slightly. And it's like, oh, yeah. And now we're increasing our listeners again, and it's all growing, and... You seem to be liking it, listeners, so thanks for that.
We get really... The thing that... When you said we were doing shit, the thing... Because I'm constantly lapping up all these all these comments online.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Oh, Lloyd's so funny. Oh, that's a great story. I'm like, oh, everyone's loving it.
No, but you're right. Like, we weren't doing shit. Like, the numbers were just decreasing slightly, which is obviously never what you want.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
But like you said, when you constantly have people going, oh, that's brilliant. Oh, I really like that. It's hard to yeah. So,
but yeah, thank you for listening, people.
Thank
listening
you,
to this
business
now.
anchors.
This has been really good.
Yeah.
If you've got any suggestions for us to make this even better, I don't know how we're going to do that, but
I hope you've all had a lovely Christmas, and if you're listening to this another time in the year, hopefully the next Christmas you have is nice.
Yeah.
It's New Year's Eve tomorrow.
No, today.
Today?
Live on the 31st.
Oh, I forgot it's today. Yeah.
Yeah, this is live, isn't it?
Yeah. So happy New Year, everyone. And if you listen to this after the New Year, hope you had a good New Year.
Oh wait, what about the surprise you had planned?
Have I forgot something, or are you just trying to set me up for a fail?
Go on, do it, Lloyd.
Surprise!
Oh, I thought you were going to make something up.
Oh, okay, cool. I was just scared that I'd forgotten something important. Thank you, Business Anchors listeners, for this year. Really appreciate all of your support. Thank you to Lauren behind the camera right now. She shots a lot of these episodes. Thank you to everyone else on the team that's dipped in and out and helped us set up and helped us get better and
that.
Thank you to everyone editing it. Thanks Lucas. Thanks Josh. Thanks Lauren. Has anyone else edited it?
I don't think so.
Thanks
Dan for being on it with you.
Yeah. Thanks Barney for helping us set up every time.
Thank you parents for having you.
Thank you Ida for making the phone silent in the office and making sure we don't have any noise every time. Thank you Dan for being such a great co-host.
Thank you Red Bull for sponsoring some high energy games and stuff that they do sponsor.
Yeah. Thank you guys. See you next year. Love you.
Ooh, creepy.